Morning everybody, welcome to today's class. I hope you've been enjoying all the sunshine. Let's get started. So we're going to do our neck stretches to begin with, so standing or kneeling, whichever you prefer. We're just going to tip our head over to the side, so think ear to your shoulder, bring one hand across and reach the other arm away. And just feeling that stretch come down through the neck. Nice deep breaths. Back to the centre other side. Bring the arm across, tipping the head, reaching the arm away. And again, swapping sides, tipping over, arm across, reaching the other arm away. Back to the centre, last one, tipping over, arm across, reaching away. And relaxing there. We're going to go onto our backs for our breathing. So laying down onto the floor. Looking up towards the ceiling, get your knees bent, feet on your mat. And then just find that space under your lower back that's big enough to place your hand underneath. Just that slight curve. You can rest the arms down beside you. And we're just going to be taking nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through a pursed lip. Breathing in and out. So whilst we're taking those nice deep breaths in and out, I want you to think about the position of your hips. So you're trying to keep those hips nice and level. Imagine you have a torch on each hip bone and they're shining up parallel to one another onto the ceiling. Relaxing those shoulders, keeping them away from the ears, keep that chest nice and open. We're going to keep the weight evenly placed through our feet. So big toe, little toe and heel. We're going to start to gently tighten your tummy. From here, as you breathe out, you're going to tuck the pelvis under. So you're flattening your lower back into the mat. Take a deep breath in to stay. Exhale to release out to neutral. Tucking under to flatten. Holding there. Releasing out to neutral. So as you're tucking under, you want to get that really strong flat back position. And you're using your tummy muscles and your pelvis to move. So trying to avoid squeezing your bottom. this next one we're going to hold our flat back position. So as you're holding that flat back, making sure there's no gap underneath the lower spine, we're starting to tighten the pelvic floor. So as you breathe out, you're tightening all the way in with the pelvic floor. Inhale to release. Exhale to tighten. Inhale to release. So you're thinking of the sensation of stopping a wee mid-flow. So as you're tightening, you should feel as though your tummy muscles are working harder and that your back is slightly flatter into the floor. Let's halve this contraction, so 50% tightening in the pelvic floor as you exhale. Inhale to release. Tightening in and release. So we still want to keep those shoulders nice and relaxed, away from the ears. Chest is nice and open. And if you're feeling really tense, just turn those palms up towards the ceiling. You're pulling your tummy all the way down towards your spine and keeping the weight even through those feet. So big toe, little toe, and heel. We're halving one last time, so 20 to 25% tightening. This should feel like a very gentle lifting, something that you could sustain throughout any exercise if you needed to. It's just working in the background. So now that flat back position should feel nice and strong. You're using your tummy muscles and your pelvic floor to help you to stay there. I'm going to bring both legs up into tabletop. So feet are off of the floor, your knees are above your hips and your shins are parallel to the ceiling. I'm going to glue those legs together. As you breathe out, you're tipping both legs over to the side, releasing one hip from the floor. Inhale to come back to the centre. Exhale to tip over to the other side. Back to the centre. Tipping over. So although that hip is releasing from the floor, you're keeping both of your shoulders in contact with the mat. You want to be using the tummy muscles to take your legs over to the side, to control you back to the centre. Try and find that flat back, so use your pelvic floor. And again onto the other side. Nice deep breaths. Keep those shoulders away from the ears. 2 more on each side. We're tipping over and centre. Tipping over and centre. One more time on each side. We tip over and centre. Tipping over and centre. Relaxing there and hugging those knees in towards your chest. And from there we're going to be on our hands and knees. You can grab yourself a drink if you need one. I'll just move this out of the way. So as you come onto your hands and knees, you want to have your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Tummy is already nice and tightened here. As you breathe out, you're tucking the pelvis under. Start to curve through the back. Arching your spine, but dropping the head. Take a deep breath in to stay. As you breathe out, take the pelvis back to your start position. Through the spine. And we're lifting the head. So we're tucking the pelvis under, arching the back, dropping the head. Take a deep breath in to stay, before releasing out through the spine, piece by piece. And the head lifts. So we want to get lots of movement through the back. Working into each section piece by piece. So if there's any areas that feel really stiff or sore, we're just slowing them down, trying to move each vertebrae one by one. So as we're curving the back, think of pulling the tummy all the way in. And as we're releasing out through the spine, bring our shoulders away from the ears. We have 2 more here. Tucking under to curve. Arching the back. Dropping the head. We hold. Releasing out through the spine. Back to your start position, last time tucking under. Curving the back. Dropping the head, we hold. Then we're releasing out through the spine. Back to your start position. From here, we're pushing back into a shell stretch. Bottom to the feet. And then just reach those arms out in front. And then from here we're on our sides. So remember, you're laying with legs bent, one on top of the other. Arms are nice and long, palm to palm as you rest the head down. Can use a pillow or something if you need to. We're going to lift this top arm up, fingertips will point to the ceiling. Taking the head with you, we're twisting away. Holding here to stretch, before lifting back up and over, to come down palm to palm. Top arm lifts, fingertips to the ceiling. Taking the head with you. Twisting away, we hold before lifting back up and over to come down palm to palm. So we're making sure that those legs are glued together and grounded. We want this twist to come through your waist. So we're really opening up the chest. The arm is long, stretching from the fingertips all the way into your armpits. And we're looking at that hand as long as we can. Nice deep breaths. We've got 2 more here. Lifting up, fingertips to the ceiling. Taking the head with you to twist away. Holding here as you stretch. Before lifting up and over. To come down palm to palm. Last one. Lifting up, fingertips to the ceiling. Taking the head with you. Twisting away, we hold. Before lifting up and over. Coming down palm to palm. From here we're going to swap sides. So either roll over to face the other way or change the end of your mat that you're laying on. So again, resting that head down, legs are bent, those arms are long, palm to palm. We're lifting that top arm up. Take the head with you. We're twisting away. Holding here to stretch. Before lifting up and over to come down palm to palm. Top arm lifts, fingertips to the ceiling. Take the head with you. Twisting away, we hold. Coming back up and over. Back down palm to palm. So remember to keep your legs glued together. We're getting that twist through the waist. We're looking at the hand for as long as we can. Making sure the range of movement through your neck is good on both sides. Stretching that arm as long as you can from the fingertips all the way into your armpits. Nice deep breaths. Let's take 2 more here, lifting up, fingertips to the ceiling. Taking the head with you, we're twisting away. Holding there. Before we lift back up and over to come down palm to palm. Last one, lifting up and twist. Holding there. Before we come back up and over. Coming down palm to palm. From there, roll onto your back and take a full body stretch. And we're staying on our back. But of course, if you need a drink, then grab one. So as you're laying on your back, we want to find a neutral position. So you're going to have that curve underneath your lower spine. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor, and your arms will rest down beside you. We're taking a nice deep breath in to nod the head, chin to chest. As you exhale, pull the tummy in to lift the shoulders off, the arms reach nice and long. Take a deep breath in to stay. Exhale to control back down. Chin to chest, lifting up. We hold. Control back down. So it's your tummy muscles that are lifting you here. Make sure you pull your belly button all the way down. You're taking this chin to chest position. Try and keep the neck nice and relaxed if you can. So as you're lifting, you're thinking big nod of the head, then get that tummy working. The arms reach along, get the shoulders away from the ears. Let's take two more here, then we'll change the arms. Chin to chest, lifting up. We hold, control back down. Chin to chest, we lift, holding, control back down. From here, you're going to bring those arms across your chest, like giving yourself a little hug. Get those shoulders down. So again, chin to chest, lifting the shoulders away. We hold, control back down. Nod the head, pull the tummy in to lift, we hold, control back down. So just take a moment to make sure those shoulders haven't lifted to the ears, they're staying down and relaxed. Tighten the pelvic floor. Nice deep breaths here. Two more in this position. Nodding their head, lifting up. We hold. Control back down. Last one, chin to chest, lifting up. We hold. Control back down. From here, take your hands one on top of the other. They're either placing on the forehead or bring them behind your head for support. Excuse me, sorry. Again, chin to chest, tighten to lift. We hold, breathe in, control back down. Nod the head, lift the shoulders. We're holding here, control back down. So it doesn't matter whether those hands are on the forehead or behind the head, you still need to make sure that you get that chin to chest position as you're lifting up. You want those elbows to be really wide. Using your tummy, use your pelvic floor. Let's take two more here. Chin to chest. Lifting those shoulders. We hold. Control back down. Last one, chin to chest. Lifting the shoulders, we hold. Control back down. From there, hug those knees into your chest. We're going to come into a knelt position. Excuse me. So if you don't like kneeling, if that doesn't agree with you, you can come onto your front to do the chest lifts from the floor. Just lay with those legs long and your hands are mat width apart and in line with your ears. So if you're in a kneeling position, you want your legs long behind you, your bottom of your legs, and if you suffer from cramp, just tuck those toes under. It should help you to keep that away. If not, they're just resting down. We want to be tall through the upper body, but although we're tall, don't start to lift the head. That stays quite tucked in, just to make sure the neck is relaxed. Arms are just down beside you. Make sure your legs are quite close together. Tummy's nice and tightened. As you breathe in, you're going to lean back, hinging at your knees. You tighten that tummy. Exhale, squeeze the bottom and lift. Inhale to lean back. Exhale to lift. Leaning back and lift. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Using that tummy the whole time. Let's take 2 more here. Breathe in and lean back. Exhale to lift. Last one. Leaning back. Squeeze and lift. From there, we're going into another shell stretch. So take the bottom to the feet. Reaching those arms out in front. Good. Grab a drink if you need one. We're going to be going into the 100. So you need to be laying on your back. Good. So laying on your back, you want a nice flattened position. So your head should be looking up to the ceiling and you want to be tucked under in a flat back. I'll talk you through, but then we'll go all together. So it'll be basically the same as yesterday, but we'll change the arms. So you're in your nice strong flat back position. From here, you're going to lift your legs up and you're going to lengthen them. So as I always say, it doesn't matter here if you still need to keep some bend through your knees. It's the longest position that you can maintain throughout the entire exercise. So I'd rather that your legs were lifted and bent and that you continue through the whole of the 100 than them be dead straight but you can only do like 20 repetitions. Once those legs are lifted, we're going to look at the upper body. So if your neck is sore, leave your head resting down. If not, we're going to nod the head, lift the shoulders, and everyone will have the arms long but your palms facing the ceiling. So today we're pushing up. So remember, it's like you're pushing against resistance like water or something like that. Still the same amount of repetition, same breathing. So 5 as you breathe in, 5 as you breathe out. So the arms will look like this. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. From there, your hands are behind your head. And we go into 2 sets of 8, sitting up towards those legs. Still with the legs nice and long. Then we're resting that head down. The arms are down beside you. Legs are still long and we're going to crisscrosses. The 2 sets of 8 with those legs. Your arms are resting. If your legs are bent, your crisscrosses is just the lower part of your leg. Okay, once we finish 2 sets of 8 there, we'll hug the knees in and we'll take a full body stretch. So we'll go all together. Find that nice strong flat back so you're really tucked under. When you're ready, lift those legs as long as you can maintain them. Then lifting that upper body, so chin to chest, shoulders come away, arms are long, palms face the ceiling. We're pushing up as we inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tummy in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pelvic floor, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tummy in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Staying here, you're taking your hands behind your head. Legs are still lifted. We're doing sit-ups for 8, 7, 6, 5. Breathe. 4, 3, 2, 1. 8 more. 8, 7, 6. Tummy's in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest your head and your arms down, looking up to the ceiling. Your legs stay long and they crisscross for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last set. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relaxing there. Hug those knees in towards your chest. When you're ready, come into a full body stretch. Then we're going to come up to sitting. Once you've finished stretching, so make sure you've had a nice stretch out, grab yourself a drink. Good, we're going to take a little bit of a stretch. So we can do our mermaid stretch that we've not done for a week. I really lose track of what day it is at the moment and how long between sessions. So I'll go through the main mermaid position and then one that you can do if that doesn't agree with your hips. Just make sure that you're towards one end of your mat, okay? Especially if you're by a wall or something you're going to hit into. So we're always going to have one leg in front of the other, and if you are at one end of your mat, you need the leg that's in front to be the leg that's facing all of the space that you have. So the textbook mermaid position is with one leg in front and one leg folded behind in this kind of zigzag position. I understand that lots of you have niggly hips or knees. So if this position doesn't agree with you, then just come into a cross-legged position, but with one leg in front. And again, that can be quite a loose position or really tucked under, whichever you prefer. Just need to have one leg in front and one leg behind in that position. From there, the leg that you've got in front of you, you're going to have that hand on the floor. And the reason you need space is because that arm is going to be sliding out and in. The leg that's behind, whether that's cross-legged or mermaid, that arm is going to be long. Okay, so we're taking a nice stretch down the side of our body. So start sitting up nice and tall. You can always sit on a cushion here if you need to. Your body isn't going to move, your bottom, sorry, just your upper body. So your arm that you're reaching out long, you're going to reach that arm towards the side, towards that wall that's to that side of your body. Keep the arm reaching as you lift all the way up and over, then you're going to slide this arm away. If you're flexible enough, drop onto your forearm. If not, stay on a long arm. And you're just taking an extended side stretch here. So stretching out this long side of your body. And that stretch should feel nice in your upper body. If it's painful in your legs, change to a cross-legged position. So just holding here for nice deep breaths in and out. Then lift that arm back to a start position, press yourself up to seated. So we're going again with that. We're reaching to the side, all the way up and over. Slide this arm away and come into your side stretch. Just holding here, really breathing. Pushing back up. We're taking that stretch one more time, so you're reaching out long, come up and over, stretching down. So really lengthening, and you might find that you're getting a bit more of a stretch, more movement each time that you're there. Back up and over, just relaxing there. And from here we're going to change sides. Just untangle those legs. If you're at one end of your mat, you'll have to shimmy down towards the other end. And we're swapping which leg you've got in front. So again, you might have to change the way your legs are. So I'm really sore in my left hip, in this left hip at the moment. I think it's pregnancy related, but so this might be uncomfortable for me. So I'll go to a cross-legged position. So I'll demonstrate this mermaid one first. So remember, you've got that leg folded in front, one tucked behind. If that's too much, and you come into a cross-legged position, I've still got one leg in front. The other leg is tucked underneath, and it's the same stretch. So one hand is going to slide away, the other arm is long. So you're reaching. Keep that reach all the way up and over. Slide that arm away. If you can, rest down. If that's too much, stay nice and high in that arm. So again, you're still stretching down the side of your body. So now you can see that I've got a difference in both sides of my body. On the other side, I was in mermaid with my forearm on the floor, and this side I'm just cross-legged on a long arm. Still getting a really nice stretch here. Deep breaths. Back up and over, lift. Same again, make sure you start tall, reaching over, all the way up and around that side, lengthening that side of your body. Back, up and over. One more time here, we reach. Keep that reach going, and we lean and stretch. You find you do feel tight down these sides here. This is a really nice stretch to do on a regular basis. And back up. Just give those arms a little shake out. We'll just come into our frog pose. The soles of your feet are together and the knees are quite wide. This should get into your hips quite nicely, and we're just going to bounce into those legs. If you do suffer from sore hips, a few of these stretches might help, but I totally understand if they don't, because if I'm really honest, they don't help my hip injury. Okay, so still holding on to those feet, we're leaning forwards, pushing the elbows into the legs, just dropping as far forwards as you can. Good. From here, we're going to be laying on our backs. Grab a drink if you need one. So as you lay on your backs, you want your knees bent. You're looking up towards the ceiling. Your feet are on the floor. Just try and think about getting those knees in line with your hips. So you don't want them too close together, knocking inwards. You don't want them splaying outwards. So check your foot placement as well if they don't look quite right, but you're not sure what's going on. Just have those arms resting down beside you. And you're in a neutral position. So you should have a curve underneath your lower back. We're going to take a nice deep breath in to prepare. As you exhale, squeeze your bottom. Press into your feet and drive those hips up. Take a deep breath in to stay. Exhale to come back down. So your arms are long beside you. I'm just supporting my head because of my body position. Squeeze and drive up. Holding here. Control back down. So you don't need to roll through the spine. You are still just driving straight up. Holding there. Control back down. It's the squeeze of your bottom, the pressing into your feet that's going to lift you. You want your upper body to be nice and relaxed. So think shoulders away from the ears. Chest is nice and open. And remember, you can turn those palms up to the ceiling if you need to. You're working your tummy. If you're pulling this tummy down, you're going to stop your rib cage and chest from flaring up and out. Everything will stay in line. Use your pelvic floor. If that pelvic floor is working as those hips lift, we're strengthening deep into these lower tummy muscles. We've got 2 more here. The last one stays lifted. Driving those hips up. Holding there. Controlling down. Last one, we're driving up. Holding here. So as you're holding, you're keeping your hips the same level. They don't drop from where they are right now. You're going to squeeze those legs in together and release. Squeeze in and release. Keep the hips high, you're just squeezing. Tummy stays tightened. Use your pelvic floor. Breathe. Four more squeezes. Pushing in. Release. Push in. Release. Last 2, push in. Release. Pushing in. Check those hips are nice and high. And release yourself down. Take a full body stretch. Give those legs a nice shake out. Okay, we're going to stay on our backs. This time we're finding a flattened position. I'm just going to grab a drink, sorry. So, flattened position, so nice and tucked under, you're losing that gap. We're going to lift our legs up into tabletop, so your knees are above your hips and your shins are parallel to the ceiling. If that position feels quite comfortable and easy for you, start to take your shins at your knees at a diagonal angle from your hips, keeping your flat back. If that's confusing, stay with everything stacked up. From here, if your neck feels okay and it's not sore, nod the head and lift the shoulders and get those hands beside your knees. As you breathe out, you're reaching one leg long and away from you and the other leg stays where it is. Inhale back to the center, swapping sides, reaching the leg long and away. Come back to the center, reaching away. And center, reaching away. and centre. So if the neck starts to get really sore, just dropping your head back down to the mat. Deep breath. The tummy needs to be really tightened. You use your pelvic floor to get that back nice and flat. Let's take 2 more on each side, reaching away. And centre. Reaching away. And centre. Last one on each side, reach away. And centre. Reaching away. And centre. Relax there and hug those knees into your chest. So we're going to stay with our flat back position. Again, lift those legs up into tabletop. Knees above the hips. Shins are parallel to the ceiling. This time your hands are behind your head. So we're all going to nod the head and lift the shoulders. As you breathe out, you're reaching one leg long and away from you, and you're twisting towards the knee that you've left behind. Inhale back to the centre. Swapping sides, reaching long and twist. Back to the centre. Reaching long and twist. Back to the centre. So you still want that nice long position, straightening as much as you can through the knee. But at the same time, you're trying to get that elbow towards the leg you've left behind. Don't just move your elbow, use the whole of your body to take that over to the side. To the centre. Twisting over. And centre. Nice deep breaths. You've got 2 more on each side. We're twisting over. And centre. Twisting over. And centre. One more time on each side. We're twisting over. And centre. Twisting over. And centre. Relaxing there. Hug those knees in. We're just going to rock from side to side through the body. And then just come into a nice full body stretch. Bring yourself to sitting just to grab a drink if you need one. Good. I'm just going to pop this to the side. So from here we're going to be on our hands and knees. So we're taking our hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips. So we're going to work just on the arms to begin with. If you want your weights or your baked bean tins, to grab them and put them on the outside of where your hands are. If your wrists start to get really sore, you can drop to your forearms, but you will find it harder to get movement here. So what we're going to be doing is taking the arm nice and long on the floor first, then lifting up. Just bring it back down and in, swapping sides. Reach the arm long and lift. Bring it down and in. So if you want to use weights, you can either have wrist weights strapped to you, or you'll grab your weight, you'll reach long, lift up, down, in, and put the weight down and swap sides if you want to make it that little bit harder. So just making sure you're getting that long line before you start to lift. So don't just lift from the floor straight into the air, you're sliding long. Lift, down, and in. Breathe. Get the tummy really tightened here. And remember to just make sure that you're not dropping the head or forcing the head up. You're just relaxing down, looking at your mat. Long, lift, down and in. Got 2 more on each side before we add some more movement in. Last one on each side, reaching long, lift, down and in, long, lift, down and in. Just if you need to, have a little roll through those wrists, if they need a tiny little break. So the movement we're going to add in, we've done it before, we're reaching long, lift, come out, in, down, back to your start position. Long, lift, coming out, in, down, start position. So this out hasn't got to be all the way as far, it hasn't got to be past 90 degrees. It's just as far as you can go. So even if it's small, that doesn't matter. You can still use that weight if you want to. You'll just be holding it as you come to the side and in. Out, in, and down. So what we're doing is we're just opening up through that shoulder socket, making sure you're still sliding on the floor first before you give yourself that lift. Tummy's nice and tightened. Two more each side, reaching long, lift, out, in and down, long, lift, out, in and down. Last one each side, long, lift, out, in and down, long, lift, out, in and down. From there, let's take a shell stretch back. And if you need to, just rolling those wrists. We're going to stay on our hands and knees to do our knee lifts. So here, if you know you suffer from sore wrists, drop yourself down those forearms. In fact, let's all do that. Let's all drop down so that we know our wrists are strong enough for those downward dog press ups. So on the forearms, just make sure that your arms are parallel. So don't let the hands cross or open out. Knees are still underneath the hips. Toes are nice and tucked under. As you breathe out, you're pulling your tummy all the way in, lifting your knees off of the floor just an inch or so. Inhale down. Exhale to lift. Inhale down. Lifting up and 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 down. Remember to keep that head in line, don't drop too much or strain the neck. Tummy tightening is what's lifting you. 4 more here, coming up and down. Coming up and down. Last 2, lifting up and down. Lifting up and down. Again, we'll take a nice shell stretch here. If those arms are feeling sore, just bring them down beside your body while you stay in that stretch. Feels kind of weird, but it's nice as well. And then from here, we're going to be getting ready for our planks. If you need a drink before we go into those planks, then grab one. So, we're going to do the same planks we did yesterday. It doesn't matter if you didn't join in yesterday. What we're doing is a downward dog, which we're holding for a press up. And then we're going into our plank, which we just hold for a breath. If you want to be on your forearms, you can do that. Obviously, there's no press up. You're just going to hold that downward dog. Just remember to think about, I'll demonstrate the downward dog press ups. Just remember to keep your bottom really high in the downward dog press up. I always see, obviously I can't see you guys, but I always see that people will go into the downward dog and then drop and do a kind of in-between press up, like a really bad normal press up. But I want you to have that bottom as high as it possibly can be. So I'll demo here, so if you want to do it with me, you can. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you want to watch, then you can also do that. I won't be going into full plank, so just bear that in mind through that transition. So your hands are going to be at a diagonal angle forwards, knees diagonal angle backwards, toes tucked under. Keep those legs close together. Don't let them get really far apart. That is cheating. From here, push your bottom up nice and high. We've done downward dog before. You want to get a nice position, feeling a stretch in the back of your legs. Staying in this high position, literally all you're doing is bending your elbows, straightening your elbows. Then you're going to tuck your bottom forwards as you lower yourself into your plank position. Just holding there, breathing in and out and relax. Okay, I'll keep doing them with you as I talk you through. So you're going to push that bottom up nice and high. Find that downward dog. This press up feels weird. You won't get lots of movement, just to bend and straighten. Start to bring yourself forwards. Tuck that bottom under. Just watch as you come into your plank. You're not dropping the bottom too low. So not one extreme to the other. You're then in that long line. And relax. Take your time between if you need a little rest. Remember, you can be on the forearms. You're just closer to the ground than that downward dog. Pushing up nice and high. Feeling that stretch. It should feel nice in those legs. Bending the elbows. Straightening them. Bring yourself forward into that plank. Squeeze your bottom. Pull your tummy in. And relax. We're going to do 2 more of these. Pushing up nice and high. Tucking under. No, you're not tucking under. Sorry, that's my bad. You're bending your elbows and straightening them. Then you're tucking under. Holding that plank for your breath in. And out. And relax. We're going to go one more time here, and I'll try and explain it correctly. Pushing the bottom up nice and high. Finding that stretch. Take a bend of the elbows and straighten them. Then you're tucking yourself under into your full plank. Breathing in and out. And relaxing there. Take a nice roll through those wrists. Control that breathing. Good, from here we'll do a little stretch just to finish off. So you can come into standing if you don't want to be knelt. We're going to interlace the fingers, rounding the arms. From here you're going to pull your tummy in to curve your back and just drop your head through the middle of that curve of your arms. Just taking nice deep breaths. Relaxing the arms down, stance, body nice and straight. And just roll those shoulders back. From there, interlace your fingers behind you. Stretch those arms back, so you're really opening the chest. And start to take a slight lean, so you're lifting your chest and your head towards the ceiling. Again, nice deep breaths. Relax the arms there. Roll those shoulders forwards. Do that stretch one more time. Interlace the fingers, bring them out in front. Curving the back, dropping the head. Relaxing the arms, body nice and tall. Roll those shoulders back. Interlace those fingers behind, stretching the arms away. We're lifting the upper body as we lean back, looking up towards the ceiling. Relax those arms and roll the shoulders forwards. And that's class finished today. Thank you everybody for joining me today for the session. I hope you've been enjoying them. Remember, if you have got any questions, as always, you can either drop them below or send me a private message if you'd prefer. It's completely up to you. And I'll see you all tomorrow or throughout the week. I hope you have a lovely day in the sunshine. Take care. Bye-bye.